I was about to marry my fiancé of 10 years until he confessed he cheated on me. Now my friends are guilt tripping me into forgiving him for his saving my life years before. I don't even know where to start. Part of me doesn't want to start at all. Part of me wishes I could just wake up from this nightmare. But the truth is, I can't. I can't ignore it anymore, and I can't stop thinking about it. Every waking moment, every time I close my eyes, it's there. The betrayal, the hurt, the confusion, the overwhelming feeling that I've been blindsided by the one person who I thought would never hurt me. I guess the only place I can start is with the beginning, even if it feels like the beginning is a distant memory, a time when I still thought everything was perfect. It feels so strange to say, but I don't remember the first time I laid eyes on him. It's not because he wasn't important to me, far from it. But we were just kids then, barely 14 and 15 years old, trying to figure out what it meant to be in a relationship. Our love wasn't supposed to be this complicated. I remember the day we started dating like it was yesterday, though. I was 15, and he was 16, and I thought he was perfect. He was charming, confident, and always had a way of making me feel like I was the most important person in the world. We grew up together, in every sense of the word. We shared so many firsts: first love, first kiss, first everything. We talked about our future endlessly: how we were going to go to college together, how we were going to move in together, how we were going to be a power couple, invincible, untouchable. And for years, that's exactly what we were. We didn't just date, we built a life together. We navigated high school, college, all the ups and downs of being young adults, figuring out who we were and what we wanted. We leaned on each other through everything. And it wasn't always easy, but it was us. We were a team. I always thought there was no one else in the world who could understand me like he did. He was my best friend, my partner, the person I shared all my dreams and fears with, and I thought he was the same for me. Then came the engagement. We'd been together for over 8 years, and we were at a point where the future seemed so clear. I was 24, he was 25, and the time felt right. We got engaged in a moment that felt so surreal, so magical. I remember his eyes, how he looked at me, the way he spoke when he asked me to marry him. I never had a single doubt in my mind that I was doing the right thing. We'd been through so much together, so many obstacles, so many challenges, and every time, we'd come out stronger. This was supposed to be the next chapter in our perfect love story. We were supposed to get married in August 2025. We were supposed to have the life we'd always dreamed of. But now I can barely bring myself to think about that future. It feels like a fantasy, something that never existed. Because the truth, the ugly, gut-wrenching truth, is that everything I thought I knew about us, about him, was a lie. It happened about 3 weeks ago. I don't even know how to describe the moment when everything fell apart. It was a Tuesday evening, I remember that much. He'd been distant for the past few days, not necessarily in a bad way, but just distant. We had our usual routines. I'd been spending a lot of time at work, and he was busy with his own things. We were both stressed, but I figured it was just the usual. Then, out of nowhere, I got a message from him that turned my world upside down. "I need to talk to you. It's about something that happened." That was all it said. And the moment I read it, I knew. I knew something had happened. I knew it wasn't good, but I didn't know how bad it was. I didn't know what was coming. So I waited. I didn't call him immediately. I didn't ask him what it was. I didn't want to push him if he wasn't ready to talk. I wanted to give him space, but the more I thought about it, the more I began to panic. What could it be? What had happened? The uncertainty gnawed at me all night, and I barely slept. I thought about the way he'd been acting lately, how distant he seemed, how he had withdrawn emotionally. but I didn't want to jump to conclusions. Maybe he was just stressed. Maybe it wasn't anything big. But when I saw him the next day, when I looked into his eyes, I saw it. I saw the guilt, the shame, the fear. I knew something was wrong. He tried to talk to me, but the words were just wrong. They weren't what I expected. Instead of sitting me down and telling me the truth, he danced around the subject. He didn't have the courage to tell me face to face. And finally, when I pressed him, when I demanded to know what was going on, he said it. He said it so quietly, so almost apologetically, like he was expecting me to understand. I cheated on you. The words didn't make sense at first. I couldn't process them. I couldn't hear them, not because I didn't want to, but because my mind couldn't comprehend what he was saying. My heart sank into my stomach, and I felt like the ground had been ripped out from under me. How could this be real? How could he say this to me after everything we had been through? He told me it was a mistake. He told me it happened after a night of drinking, that he didn't know what he was doing. He claimed it was a one-time thing, that it didn't mean anything. He said he loved me, that he was sorry, that he didn't know how it happened, that he didn't want to lose me. But all I could hear were the words, "I cheated on you." The anger came next, overwhelming and hot, filling every part of me. How could he? How could he betray me like this? After everything, after 10 years, how could he throw it all away for one night? He promised me that it was a mistake, but nothing felt like a mistake. It felt like a choice. It felt like he had decided in that moment that I wasn't enough. And that thought was what killed me inside. I couldn't even look at him. I couldn't even speak. I just wanted to be alone. So I told him to leave. I told him to give me space. I told him I needed time to process, to figure out if I could even stand to look at him again. The worst part, though, the part that keeps me up at night, the part that keeps gnawing at me every single day, is that I can't stop thinking about what came after. After he left, after the initial shock wore off, I was left with the emptiness, and then came the guilt. The guilt was worse than the anger. Everyone around me, our friends, his friends, even my own family, started telling me to forgive him. They all said the same thing. He loves you. It was a mistake. Don't throw away 10 years. But how could they say that? How could they tell me to forgive him so easily? How could they dismiss everything I had felt for him? Everything we had built together, like it didn't matter. They didn't see the pain in my eyes. They didn't feel the betrayal in my chest. It wasn't just about the act itself. It was about everything that came after. It was about the lies, the secrecy, the way he kept it from me. It was about the fact that the person I thought I knew and loved wasn't the person I thought he was anymore. How could I forgive someone who did this to me? And yet, I still love him. I still feel like there's this part of me that can't let go. But then I look at him and wonder, how can I ever trust him again? How can I ever look at him the same way? I don't know what to do. I don't know what the right choice is. And right now, I don't think anyone else's opinion matters. What I need to figure out is what I want. Do I stay and try to rebuild what we had? Or do I walk away and preserve my dignity? The future I thought we'd have feels like a distant dream now, and I can't decide if it's worth fighting for, or if it's just a mirage.